is Danny Richardson.
Dylan Schumacher.
Citadel Defense. Today we're going to talk to you about the Serpa Level 3 security holster.
Now this particular one is a model, I have no idea what this is. What did we got
We'll
there?
post it in the description. I don't even know.
Oh, hold on. We can read it. 6360-832 Glock 17/22 IT M3 Lite.
So this one's made to have the TLR1 on a Glock 17.
Yep. And it also fits a couple other lights. I mean, any other light you can fit in there, it's just going to work. So a couple things about this holster. This is your holster, Daniel. Why'd you choose it?
I chose this holster because I want to open carry, and it is the most secure holster that I can find. So basically it's got two levels of security. There's the hood right here that has to go down, if you guys can see that. So once the hood goes down, then there's the ALS, this little button right here that it needs to be pulled back, and then the gun can come out. Otherwise, the gun's not coming out. So after Dylan and I did some grappling, we found that the hood is really the best system for protecting your gun from someone trying to grab it. And if you're going to open carry, you really need to have a hood. But I also like the additional ALS. And honestly, this has taken more practice than any holster I've ever had to use. But once you get the hang of it, it's really pretty smooth. So it takes a lot of practice, but your thumb can naturally pull back the ALS after coming forward on the hood. Yeah, so it's very, very secure. I like it a lot.
Another thing, so we'll post a link in the description here, but there's a company called OTS Tactical, and they make a replacement knob here that's a little bit bigger, so it's easier to get your thumb on that sucker if you so desire. Again, that's a user preference thing. So this has the SLS, which is the self-locking system by Safariland. That's that hood Danny was talking about. And then, like you mentioned, the ALS, and that's the auto-locking system. Because when you put it in there, it just clicks. It's auto. You don't have to do anything. This one, you have to manually move the hood back and forth.
Right.
With all Safariland guns, you can change out the belt attachment. You can even get like a MOLLE attachment. They have a really cool setup for that.
And I got the 1.5-inch drop here, which just makes it a little bit lower. It's not as nice for running around. Obviously, as you can imagine, it kind of bounces around a lot. But I do like the draw a lot more because it's lower. It's more natural.
If you're running this on a duty belt or a battle belt setup or something, I would probably tell you to run a leg strap through here.
Yep.
You know, you run it between these two bolts here. You run it back here, and then you bolt the attachment to the holster, and then that'll keep it from flapping. Because otherwise, this is so low on your leg, it's doing this thing when you're running.
I typically find this is the one downside of this. I mean, a couple downsides, but is that I end up having to kind of put my hand around it like this as I'm running, just to keep it from bouncing around.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Yeah. So it's not so bad when I'm just running my pistol, but when the AR comes into play, it's not as nice.
Another thing, you could fix that, right, guys? That's the beauty. You could just switch this attachment out.
Right,
If you sound like, I don't want to deal with that, just swap your attachment out, ride it high in your
And this
belt.
is not the one that it comes with. I put that on.
Yeah, that's of course your call. There's a little retention screw right here. I don't think you've messed with that.
No, I've
right?
never played with it.
Okay, so you can mess with that
It
if
works
you really
perfectly
want.
for me.
And another big thing about this gun is the way that this gun locks in the holster is on the ejection port of the gun. It doesn't lock on the light. A lot of light-bearing holsters will lock on the light, which means that only that light will work. Well, the cool thing about locking just on the port is that any light you can get to fit in here will work. I think a Surefire might work in there. An Inforce will definitely work in there. But any light that you can find that's going to fit in there is going to work just fine. You know, like we said, this is made for IT M3 light, but the Streamlight TLR1 fits in there just fine.
So I would say that this, of all the holsters that I've seen, this is the best open carry or outside the waistband retention holster that you can get.
Yeah.
I would say it's my top. If you're gonna open carry, I would highly suggest this. Now the downsides are that it's a cannon. As you can see, it's massive. This thing is huge. So concealment's really not an option unless you have like a gigantic coat and it's winter. Otherwise, you're gonna look like a creep. So yeah, so that's kind of one of the biggest downsides. The other is that it just requires a lot of practice. And I wouldn't say that that's a downside to the holster itself. It's just that this method of carrying requires a lot of practice. Yep. And what I mean is if you come down and push the hood and you don't get the ALS all the way back, that's going to happen. So there's been plenty of times that I've been practicing my draw and been on the range that I've gone to get my gun, and I've done that, and then you have to push back down, pull the ALS, and pull up again.
Yeah.
So
the number, my arbitrary number is 10,000. Okay, 10,000 draws.
Yep.
That's how many practice draws you need on this gun, which should take you about, I don't know, 3-ish months if you're doing about 50 a day. Is really what you're going to need to kind of build that habit that Daniel's talking about. Because the last thing you ever want to happen is you need your gun and it gets stuck in your holster.
Yeah.
Right? That's horrible. So, you know, again, this is not for everybody. If you're a police officer, this is probably for you, because you're gonna have to be unconscious before someone can get this gun off you, and then some. And or if you're into the open carry deal, or if you just want a really secure holster for your battle belt setup, that's gonna be you. But yeah, there's no concealment going on with this, guys.
Nope.
This is a loud and proud holster all the way.
And I would say it's number 1 on my list. I would
Yep.
highly recommend it.
Yep, we'll put a link in the description to it, but I think they're running about $120, give or take, so they're not cheap. But again, the whatever material they build this out of, this is a Kydex-like material. It's tough as nails.
Yeah.
So that's also very, very nice. But Safariland is the king of the retention holster industry for a reason.
Yep.
Great.
Anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All right.
Do brave deeds and endure. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.